I'm watching Stranger Things until season 5 comes out and I'm drastically running out of time. So without any further ado, let's get into it. 10 talking points, scratch that 12 talking points of season 2, episode 3. Talking point number 1. Now, what did Dustin find in the trash? It's actually quite funny, he used a Ghostbuster trap to catch a real-life alien. Talking point number 2, Elle watches Hop place food in the box, but now Elle steals it and then she confronts Hop and then Hop takes her back to the cabin. Then it flashes back to them talking at the table. Talking point number 3, Bob is now staying over. Okay, Joyce, that's a nice way to break that to you kids. And we jump straight into the Bobmobile as he then talks to Will about his experience of bad dreams about a clown, told that clown to go away in his nightmares and eventually did. Talking point number 4, Max is trying to understand why Will is called Zombie Boy. And like, why did everyone move on so quickly, like have the funeral within a week? That's kind of crazy, and she does have a point. Then he goes to the classroom and Dustin busts in late to the class and says there's an emergency meeting at the AV room. Max gets invited. Talking point number 5 now, Elle is thinking about going outside, but then has a flashback to all the time she spent in there with Hop, how they made it livable, how he taught her Morse code, and remember not to go outside because you're not stupid. Well, Elle actually goes outside and she's so far away from that cabin now. She sees a mother and child at the swing park and then has a flashback to when she was asking Hop if she had a mother and Hop was like, no. Talking point number 6 is Steve and Billy play basketball. Then Nancy pops up and speaks to Steve, but Nancy doesn't remember anything about the party. Talking point number 7 now is Joyce and Bob are having lunch on a bench. Bob starts talking about the video camera he lent to Will on the night of Halloween that is scuffed. Talking point number 8 is Joyce calls Bob for help and how to get the video to actually work on the screen. To find out who was actually teasing Will and sees some silhouette in the static. Like, fair play to Joyce, she's a massive detective. Noticing that on the screen that matches up with Will's picture. Talking point 9, we're now in the AV club with Dustin, showing the boys and Max what he has actually found. And the boys go show Mr. Clark what's actually going on there, but just before they can actually show him, Mike decides to drag them all back into the AV club, lock out Max, and have an emergency meet. At this point, we also get more insight to Billy, who is waiting on his sister, but with a girl, and claims that Max is not actually his sister. Not too quickly to forget about Dart. Dart actually grows legs at this point and manages to run and escape. Talk about number 10 is Nancy and Jonathan. They're talking about weights being carried. Nancy and Jonathan talk about going to Radio Shack and buying a Walkman, which I found was a bit weird. Why do they need a Walkman? Talk about number 11, Elle, the Russian girl, has been reported to the police. Elle is now at the school to go see Mike. Mike is looking for Dart, but there's a rattling in the gym door, and it turns out to be Max. Like, why is Max in the lock? They then come out to the gym hall and Mike is telling Max to go home. He let Elle into the group without asking about anyone. And speaking of Elle actually sees Mike and Max in the gym hall and gets jealous. And the final talking point is AV Club was cancelled. Joyce is in full Mama Bear mode now, looking for Will. Will finds Dart in the toilets, but Dart's screech triggers something inside Will, and Will just starts going into the upside down and starts running because something is chasing him. Dustin finds Dart first and hides him in his hat. And flashing back to what Bob said earlier on, Will is running, but then decides to listen to what Bob said and turn around and screams, "Go away," and that thing just devours him. Overall, I give this episode like an 8. So much is going to explode soon. I need to jump into episode 4.